Hi, so today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. It's actually kind of like a lot different than what I normally talk about. And I do talk a lot about relationships and stuff like that, and it's always, has to do with astrology. But I was thinking that today I wanted to do something a little bit different that actually doesn't involve astrology, so if you don't care because it's not involving astrology, then sorry, but I will be back soon with more astrology videos. Actually, I just made one in this exact same outfit, which I'm just in a filming mode right now, so I guess that's how it's gonna roll, and sorry if that's a little confusing. But I could change it up, like, if it makes it more helpful, like, I guess I could, like, look a little bit different. Like, I could wear a scarf, if that's better. Like, I could wear this hat in the video, so that when I'm talking, or like when you're looking at the video, you can be like, oh yeah, it's not the same video as the other one, which is how to get with Scorpio woman. Alright, I feel like nobody can take me seriously in this hat right now, so I'm gonna remove it. Alright, let's get serious now. I'm just gonna wear this, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, okay? Or I can wear this, right? I'll just like put my hand here the whole video, so that it makes more sense. Okay, so here we go. I'm actually going to talk about 7 mistakes people make when getting into a relationship or when in a relationship. And I picked the number 7 because it wasn't the number 5. And if you watch my other videos, then you'll get what I mean. So letting yourself get carried away. Don't put too much stock into a relationship. Don't let it consume your life and make it, the only thing that your world is revolving around. So, a lot of people get into a relationship and they're quite happy, or they're just happy to be in a relationship, or they really like the person, whatever. But if you let it become your everything, then soon you're going to realize that you're letting your own interests fall away, you're not talking to your friends, you're not spending time with family, and if the relationship ends, which it might because you're putting way too much focus on it, then it's going to be a really hard time for you. And I think this is a mistake that people tend to make, especially earlier on when getting into a relationship. Rushing into things. So when you first meet someone, your next step should never be to make yourselves officially boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. This is because you don't really know that person yet, and I know people talk about like love at first sight and stuff, but being realistic, you really shouldn't be in a relationship right off the bat with somebody because you don't know this person, they don't really know you, you haven't really experienced each other yet and really seen how you mesh and work together. So rushing into things could just set you up for bad situations. And when I say this, I mean you're going to end up being in a relationship with someone and maybe you two really don't get along or you really disagree about things and you're constantly fighting. But at that point, you've already invested a lot of time, so it's kind of trickier to get out of the relationship. So if you just take your time and slow down when getting to know somebody, you could really minimize your chances and their chances of getting hurt so that you both really learn about each other before you make a commitment to be together. Forgetting about yourself. So there are 2 people in every relationship. I'm sure some relationships have more, but in most relationships there are 2 people, and one of them is you. So don't forget about yourself. I mean, definitely it's a good quality to be able to compromise with people, and, I think it's quite an attractive quality, but you shouldn't be always putting the other person first. Your happiness also counts, it also matters, so, you should definitely make sure that you're happy in the relationship, and if you feel, unhappy about something, be truthful and be honest with the other person and let them know. Being honest with someone you're considering being in a relationship with or someone you're in a relationship with is always a good thing, like a little bit of honesty. You don't have to be so honest that you're being mean, but definitely feel free to talk about things that are bothering you so that you can have your happiness as well as your partner having theirs. Looking for perfection. So a lot of people are looking for perfection in their, significant other before they even meet them. And you probably have like romantic movies and like rom-coms or whatever, romantic comedies to blame for this because they make every person and every relationship seem wonderful and amazing. But in reality, like, everybody has their faults. Nobody is perfect. And the sooner you stop having a checklist of things that you need in the person you want to date, the more likely you'll be to get into a happier relationship. And when you're in a relationship, don't expect perfection from the other person. If you're constantly making them feel like they're letting you down, then the relationship is not going to be a successful one. So just learn to be patient with other people and accept their faults. Not like every single fault, but accept their general faults and get to know them and understand them, and it will help to make a more successful relationship. Ignoring red flags is a big one. So when I say red flags, I mean like signs that this person may not be right for you. And sometimes it's hard to tell because you really like them or you're really attracted to them, and you kind of just brush these things under the rug because you feel like it'll be fine or they'll change or whatever, or I'm just reading into things too much. But, if you go on a first date with somebody, a guy or a girl, and they're like on their phone the whole time, that's probably a red flag. If they're talking about, the fact that they never get along with anybody, they really don't have any friends, or they're talking about people as being enemies, that's probably another red flag. If you're getting kind of serious with somebody, or you're already serious with them and they won't talk to you about past relationships, that's probably a bad sign. Like, they probably just don't want to tell you that they cheated on every single one of their boyfriend or girlfriends before you. What other reason would they have for not being honest with you about that? So ignoring things like that, if they have like a temper, stuff like that, is definitely something, like a mistake people make when getting into a relationship. Because then you get into the relationship and, like I said, you get comfortable in it and you start to see these red flags really come out, and you're like, oh, whoops. And then you're kind of stuck with it until you find a way out of the relationship, which sometimes can be challenging. So don't ignore them. So this kind of goes along with the last one of ignoring red flags, but ignoring the truth. So if you found out that someone cheated on you, or they're lying to you, or they're being abusive, whether it's verbally or physically, and you ignore that and remain in the relationship with them, that's definitely not a good thing. And I know it can be hard to accept the truth and realize that the person that you thought was good and that you really liked isn't that person. But it's really important to do so and stick to your guns and just be smart and get out of that relationship while you can before you really get stuck in it for the long haul. Last but definitely not least is not being happy in your own life first. You need to be happy with who you are, yourself, and your life before you start looking for somebody else to be with. You shouldn't be looking for someone to fill a void in your life. You should be looking for someone to be a happy addition in your already happy life. And I don't think that everyone has happy, perfect lives. Like, that's totally unrealistic. But you should be at a point where you feel content in what you're doing and who you are before you really think about getting serious with somebody, because nobody is going to be able to fill a void that you may have. People can help temporarily, but you really need to fix any problems that you have in your life before you really consider getting serious with somebody. And I think that once you do that, you'll find that maybe these relationships that weren't working before start to work, because you know yourself, you're happy, you get it. So just be happy, be yourself, and I think that it will definitely give you a much better chance of being in a successful relationship. So I know this video is a lot different from what I normally do, even though it's kind of similar, because I'm talking about relationships. I kind of like this hat. But I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of people asked me about relationships, so I figured maybe it would be a good idea to put a video out there about it. I know everybody in life has trouble with relationships, definitely including myself, so I just wanted to talk about it, so